everyone, it's Diane, Lucky Gardenia, Dashboard Confessional. And yes, I am in my car. I just got my hair cut. And she does all, my hair is very, very short, but she does all kinds of things with the flat iron. And I think I'm going to have to get me a little bitty flat iron. I don't know. I could be dangerous. Anyway, Diane in Texas, and yes, it's hot, hot, hot here. Elvis is in the building, and he's hot, hot, hot in those little outfits he wears, but we're good to go. This is going to be very quick because my battery is not holding charge very well on my phone, and my I have a external battery for it, or a recharger, whatever you want to call it, but the charging cord is like 6 inches, so I'm having to not have it charged while I'm doing this. So y'all are in luck. It's gonna be very short. I just thought I would give you an update. I know it's been a month. I think the last time I did was actually right here. And yes, I have gone to the same hairstylist since the late 80s. And I know for a fact that I've said this before, but when you have a very short haircut, like I do indeed, you just can't have just anybody cut your hair. And I would consider Laura, my hairstylist, my friend. So anyway, we always have a good chat. Time flies, and I'm good to go. Anyway, nothing to share as far as what I am wearing. Outfit of the day. I've got on my Apache Bell shirt, and I've just got on some men's boxers. Yes, you heard me right. They make great shorts as long as you pin the fly. You don't want your under showing. Roll up the little waistband, make them a little bit shorter. I just love them. But I'm quirky because I really don't go out. I think I bought one pair of shorts this year, just in case I went out and did anything, just in case. But actually, these are just so comfy. Anybody else out there wear men boxers? And I actually went to Old Navy because I can remember back, God, 20 years ago when I was 39-ish, more than 20 years ago. I got some really cute boxers from Old Navy and went and bought some there. They had some cute, always had some cute, you know, fabric choices. And I think the cutest ones I got have bananas on them, but they just don't fit as good as the Hanes does. And the only thing I wish it was different with the Hanes men's boxers is they're not all cotton. I generally like all cotton fabrics, so, or natural fabrics, wool, silk. Anyway, enough fashion from someone that's not that fashionable. And tried to throw on some makeup, but it's hodgepodge. So anyway, I'm roughly right's good enough. I just wanted to let you know that I'm still around. I still plan on making vlogs. Last we talked, Lucy had been ill and been to the doctor, I think 4 times over the last couple months. And by that Monday, I'm going to try and get through this without crying, which is a major undertaking for me. Lucy did not make it. She had to cross the Rainbow Bridge on just days after my last vlog. She fought a good fight, and I fought there with her, and it was obvious. And I don't want to get into the particulars of it, but hardest thing to do. But anyone that knows anything about me knows I love pugs. And you know, it had been, I'm 62. I'm very upfront about my age, and the last time I didn't have a dog in my life was when I was in college. which is ages ago. And I live alone, so it is terrible. And there were some family members that wanted me to be more able to just pick up and go on a spurs of notice. I weighed that against the responsibility that becomes with becoming any kind of pet owner, and it's like, I live alone. I don't know what I would have done without Lucy over the last 15 months with COVID and, stay-at-home protocols, lockdown. Plus there's always so many pugs left behind. And actually the DFW Pug Rescue's motto is no pug left behind. And they cover several states. If a animal control pound comes across a pug, no matter the age, whether they're injured, they're old, they need major medical care, they will take them in. And the volunteers within that group, and if I could find a partner in crime to do this with, I would love to do transport for the DFW Pug Rescue. That's how I would like to help volunteer, and I that's on my bucket list. I feel that strongly about it, and these people have the biggest hearts. Anyway, I've had 4 pugs in my life. Lucy was my longest. I had her since 2009. So we were like this, guys. We were besties. And, I think I've shared the story when I worked from home for about 5 years. I didn't sit at a table. I sat in an upholstered chair, and she would climb up and get on the cushion behind me, and she would sit there all day, and she was my slacker coworker. And then there was little Birdie. She would come up, and she was the alarm clock, because I would work up to 11, 12 hours a day as an HR operations manager, and some days just required that. Not every day, but I worked more from home than I did when I worked in the office. And Birdie would come let me know, Mama, it's dinner time. She was the dinner timer. Anyway, as you know, she left me a year and a half ago. So it's been a lot of loss, which I consider family members. But what I did truly consider is I have a real tender heart for the seniors. Oh, I just touched my necklace. It made me think. I'm going to show you this. In honor of Lucy, I wanted to get something that would remind me of her and her memory. And there's someone pulling up here. And I got this, I don't know if you can see it, it's a James Avery glass bead with a rainbow on it. And it's blown glass. And I just thought that was absolutely perfect. So that's what I got to cherish her. And I've got angel wings, which I think I got when my son-in-law, Dylan, passed away. But I got kind of off track there. Oh, when I went to James Avery, I walked in unexpectedly, bada boom, they were having buy 2 charms, get a bracelet, or $72 off a bracelet sell. And I think that still may be going on, and I think I want an ankle bracelet. I think every 62-year-old second chapter in life, joy-filled lady out there should just go get an ankle bracelet. But of course, I want sterling silver, and James Avery is my go-to. So I'll have to check on that. I haven't been getting out too much. But the other update is I did contact DFW Pugs and put in my application, and I really gave a lot of hard thought to you know, I wasn't going to go a senior route because there's just too little time. And, but I didn't want a puppy. I'm not, you know, I wanted one that already had been trained because I'm so right-brained, you know, that's better left to somebody else. But there had been quite a few puppies come in because people no longer want the dogs that they got while they were in quarantine. And that is so, so sad. But a pug had come in. DFW had drove all the way out to Abilene, which is not a short drive, and picked up, they named her Cody, thinking she was a boy, but she's obviously a little girl. She looks like she had been a backyard breeder dog, like she had puppies recently. And they found her on the streets of Abilene. I mean, that almost sounds like a country song, guys. And I won't see what's going through my mind, because it would really, you'd be clicking off right now. And if you haven't done it, I normally don't say it, subscribe, please. I need all the subscribers I can get. It would just thrill me. Little things thrill me like that. And a like button every now and then. In the comments, you know, share what you're thinking. What's going on with you? How's your summer? How's your family? What trouble are you getting into? Fun trouble. I don't want to know. If you're in the pokey, I don't want to know about it. Anyway, I would love to hear from you. I usually Cricket will chat with me. My friend Debbie my artist friend Debbie up in Oklahoma will give me a shout out and give me a hi. And then there's, I believe, Jen, who is So Exactly, or Exactly So. She's been commenting, and occasionally there's others. So I just adore it. So feel free, please. But nice things. I'm so sensitive, guys. Anyway, my criteria was a younger dog, probably up to 7 years old, not a puppy, and I was looking for a girl dog, and with no ongoing medical issues that were known at that time. Anyway, Cody, I'll call her Cody right now. They found her, she was injured, and the pictures I saw of her injury on her, I call her dorsal part of her head, it's behind one of her ears. It was like raw meat, guys, and I won't get into too much detail. There was some injury lesions in her ears. I don't know what got hold of her, but she had already been seen by the vet. She was on medicine protocol every 12 hours, and it looked really kind of concerning. But she is a little champ. It is just almost resolved itself. She is a little trooper. Anyway, I went to a little meet and greet, and she was not adoptable at this point. She hadn't been spayed. They were trying to get her other health issues under control. But I thought, what a great way to start out. I'll foster, see if we're a match. And her foster mom, who only had her for a couple days, called her Cody of the Wild Wild West, because she was such a character. So it was like, oh my gosh, maybe this little cutie is much younger than what I thought. But she just has a fun, quirky personality, and she is feisty in a fun way. Spunky. I'll say spunky. Spunky sounds better. She's just delightful. She is a little toot, I tell you. And the oddity is that usually when I see one of usually I know it's my pet, and frankly I was given pictures of 3 dogs, and you know, I got input from a friend in New Orleans. I got input from my friends, not my friends, my 2 daughters, and my sister, and everyone had a different choice. But I just, the minute I saw Cody, I knew she was my dog, and that's generally the way it is, and it turned out to be true. she started out sleeping in a crate, and she was okay with that. I had it right by my bed. There's a mailman coming, so I don't know if I'm going to have to stop. He's going to have to kind of drive around me. He's probably not going to be happy with moi. But anyway, I left the crate open so she could get in and out. I just didn't want her up in bed till I knew better her personality and such, and her wound get a little bit better. And that little toot, I'd be asleep, and she'd wake up, and she would think it's time for Mama to get up, and she found ways to jump into that bed. I have never had pugs that were jumpers, that could jump. It was probably due to their weight, but she was crafty. I tell you, she was crafty, but it really concerned me the last time that I had her sleep in her crate, open crate, is she jumped on top of the crate, which is a wire crate, which is a terrible thing to be doing, to get up into bed with me. And so at that point I thought, okay, I'm going to let her sleep with me. I'm going to put a potty pad down, which I'd been doing with Lucy anyway. And got this coolest little thing. They've come out with so many cool little doggy things that I had no idea about. There's a little topper to like a bed or a crate or just for them to lie on, and it keeps them cool. And it literally, it's not cotton or natural fibers, but it feels cooler. And it legit feels cooler. So I had that in bed because, you know, we're in Texas. It's just hot as can be. And sometimes it feels like, you know, I do live on the second floor with vaulted ceilings. It's hard to cool off in the summer. And so anyway, she's loving sleeping up in the big bed. And I put back the little Xerox boxes with books in them, covered up with a blanket so, you know, it's not slippery. And she'd get up there anyway, but she walks up there into bed. But the last couple of nights, she's been putting herself to bed. I didn't know where she was. I'm like, oh my God, where is she? And it's like she's in there being Miss Marilyn Monroe-y, and I'm like, okay, I guess it's your nighttime. But I thought it was so cute. But she has been spayed. I took her Friday, and she came out like being spayed is so much harder on a dog than a boy dog being neutered. I mean, they're cutting through stomach muscle. And she came out walking loud and proud with her little curly pugtail. And pugtails that's their thermometer to how they're feeling. And if they're ill, usually it's straight as a stick and hanging down. Or if they're nervous. And hers was a little Cinnabon, and she just pranced right out. I thought, I think that's my little Cody. Sure enough, it was. She was raring to go home, and she is a fabulous traveling dog. Lucy always freaked out getting in the car. She would hyper, you know, get panting, going crazy. I thought she'd pass out from panting too much, just from being so upset. But I have to put down something so she can, Cody can lay her head down, and she actually falls asleep and doesn't bark, doesn't do any of that. She's just lovely. Anyway, this comes to the name. I picked her up on the 4th of July when I began fostering her, and I thought, you know, I got Birdie when it was Labor Day, I believe, in September, and she was Liberty Bell. So I'm thinking, I like the name Liberty. I never called Birdie Liberty. Can I do that again? My daughter Robin wanted to chill on that idea, but I'm still pondering it. So I started searching on the web. I don't Google, I Yahoo. I just like their search engine better. Sometimes I'll do both. because I am flexible, guys. I'm not that entrenched. Looking for patriotic names or fun names for pugs. So I came up with Glory. I also came up with, what was it? Glory was because the morning after the fight, the major battle, you know, the Star Spangled Banner talks about the flag still being there in the morning. So it's called Old Faithful, Old Glory. And so Glory, and I'm like morning glory. And then she had on like this little purple halter. It's not a halter. It's you can't walk them or attach a leash to a collar, because it will definitely not be good for the neck. So I'll call it, her halter was purple, her collar was purple. So Violet Morning Glory. And of course, we're all dancing bears. And you have to go back in some of my others, all my blogs basically are story times. But we're all dancing bears. And that goes back to Henry Dancing Bear, the original. And I am a dancing bear, because definitely I'm a dancer. In my own mind, I'm a dancer. But I got some pictures to prove it. But, so the name's in flux. I also like Hazel. I have hazel eyes. Robin has hazel eyes. And my dear little granddaughter, I believe, is going to end up with hazel eyes versus green. But one of those two. So Hazel's in the running. And you would not believe it, guys. I was watching... Sean Johnson has a blog. She married a NFL player, and I don't know if he's still in the NFL, but he was. But they have a family vlog, and they're pregnant again, and she was going to do a special kind of announcement for her parents, because the other time was during COVID, so they couldn't go tell them. So it sounds like she's going to have her children as close together as I had. My Robin was born, and then 9 months later I was pregnant with Jennifer. And yes, it was planned. I was super duper back with the thermometer, no ovulation indicator. Back then you had to take your temperature, graph it out. And I must have been a fertile myrtle, is all I got to say. But, yep, 9 months later I was pregnant with Jennifer. So she was pregnant shortly around the same time frame. And anyway, when her parents finally noticed the shirt that she had bought that said Big Sis, she started talking to her granddaughter and said, the baby's name is Drew. She's a little girl, Drew Hazel. And I'm like, oh, that's a sign. But I also like Tilly Tutu. And she likes the name Vida, like Vida from Tutu Sisterhood, which has a warm spot in my heart. And what else? Oh, I thought about Honor. There were some other names. I could put them in the comments, but the main ones are Hazel, Violet, because she does kind of like the Vive, which would be short for Violet. And of course there's Glory, or Liberty. I still have a fondness for Liberty. So anyway, I haven't posted on my Facebook page or Instagram, because until I get this name hunkered down in my brain. But I officially adopted her on Saturday. So yes, she is part of the family, and she's probably waiting for me to come home. But so that's primarily the update. She's recovering from her surgery and doing very well, and her head is healing very quickly. And I did get some hydrocodone ointment that I haven't used on that area, but I think she may be allergic to grass or fleas or flea bite. She is on heartworm, so there's no you know, there's a control of the flea population. But so I when I take her out for a walk, I try to keep her off the grass as much as possible. And she's very good on the leash. She's just this little sweetheart. There was a time when a car kind of revved up and it went through a puddle of water, so it made this unique noise, and she just like came out of her skin, like she just leaped up. So that's probably comes from being left on the streets of Abilene, which just breaks my heart. But their loss is my gain. Anyway, that's that. Weight Watchers wise, I have to say I lost the majority of the weight back in years ago, and I'm under what at that time was my target weight. So it's not like my weight is tremendously, you know, off the grid, but I want to get a handle on it so I can be my best self. And some of the things that I am really liking, someone had mentioned these virtual workshops I talked about. Found another great leader. His name is Marlon, and he is a hoot, guys. He cracks me up. He should be in the entertainment business, is all I gotta say. Plus delivering great information. So, and you can go to as many meetings as you want if you sign up with the plan that I have. And so there's a lot of great leaders, and there's different people that share, and you get to hear about all their little tips and tricks. And someone mentioned on his, or I think it was on one of the leaders. I've listened to so many. They mentioned Premier protein drinks, and it made me, think of Ensure. But it is really good if you add a little Splenda, a little fake vanilla to it, and the chocolate, and I like the cafe latte. I don't like the cookies and cream. It's almost too sweet, which I can't believe I'm saying that. Vanilla, not so much. But if you mix the cafe latte with the chocolate, and you put it in a little Tupperware dish, just a little bitty one, and let it freeze a little bit, it's almost like ice cream, guys. If you put a little bit of, I like my Cool Whip, a little bit of Cool Whip on there, it's like dessert, guys. I love it. And it's only on my plan. I'm on the green plan. It's only 2 points. And so I've been liking it in the morning. In fact, when I go to Walmart here in a second, I'm just going to stock up on those 2 flavors. And that, along with the 000 high protein yogurt, Greek yogurt I can't pronounce it correctly. It's OIKOS. Anyway, peach, strawberry, and lemon. But I like to add lemon concentrate to it with Splenda. And freezing it, and then let it thaw out a little bit. Obviously, I'm trying. I think someone just hit my car. Anyway, peace out. I'm gonna go check it. I think they must not put the emergency brake on. I better go tell her. Bye.